Haha! There's our technical screw up. I had the mute on. There are so many ways to mute things on this thing. It's just hilarious. All right, we're good. So as I was saying, I'm just messing with you. All right. As I was saying, it is Wednesday. Welcome to the Troubadork Show. I am Tobias the Adequate. This is the Troubadork Show. You are welcome to it. I stole that line from the Rambling Sailors, who are very good people. And there we go. All right. Caught up with all the jokes. It's Wednesday, named after Wedin, the Norse god of wondering why it's not Friday yet. And this is day 3 of the totally randomized playlist set, and we got a good one. Another good one. I don't think we have any bad ones, in fact. This whole week is pretty solid. Next week, we start delving into some of the more obscure stuff that I don't always play all the time, so we'll see how that goes. Yes, I have given you all technological problems in the past, and doubtless will do so again. I tune because I like you. Yes, all of you. I'm not sure how well I tune, or whether that is actually a gauge of how well I like you, but, we'll kind of make it up as we go along, as is the way that we go about things here. Let's realize this is like, I'm going to start with what is the third Jimmy Buffett song that I know, and it's actually also the third Jimmy Buffett song that kind of sounds like a Tin Pan Alley song. The other two you've heard me do before frequently if you've come to this show more than once, and that is Pencil Thin Mustache and Honey Dew. And this one is actually a song written back in the 70s when he was doing a whole heck of a lot of traveling. And I have the song almost figured out, but not entirely, so I still have to bring up my notes. But it's just a fun song. And let me see if I can do the quick transition here. Yes, there it is. All right. So this is the song, and we are welcome to it. Well, this hotel room's got a lot of stuff. A laundry bag and a shoe shine cloth. 32 hangers and a touch-tone phone with a light that comes on when I ain't home. I ain't home, I ain't home. Better leave a message 'cause I ain't home. They got an air conditioner for when I'm hot, a radiator for when I'm not. 2 big chairs sitting side by side with a Holy Bible and a TV guide. TV guide it's a TV guide. I got a second story view from curb to curb. I got a sign that reads, "Do not disturb." Monogram towel and a bucket of ice, a chest of drawers and a mirror that lies. Mirror that lies, a mirror that lies. That couldn't be me in that gorilla disguise. They got a room service menu for food and drink, a porcelain throne and an aluminum sink. 2 big pillows to rest my head, a magic fingers and a king-size bed. Put in the quarter, turn out the lights. Magic fingers makes you feel alright. Feel alright, feel alright. Magic fingers make you feel alright. Well, this old hotel's alright with me. They pay the postage if you lose the key. This hotel room's got a lot of stuff, but I do believe I've had enough. Called my baby, said, "Now don't you pout. I'm packing my bags and I'm checking out." Just as soon as you hang up the telephone, stick a candle in the window. I'm a-coming home. Coming home, coming home. Take a candle in the window. I'm a-coming home. Well, coming home, coming home. Stick a candle in the window. I'm a-coming home. Whew, off to a flying start with only a few minor hiccups and staggering around sideways. How many different hats do you own? Asks Teppo. Teppo, I gotta be honest with you. I own an awful lot of funny hats. My whole career has been based upon ludicrous headwear, and this is actually one of the least funny hats that I have. This is a fairly stable, sedate, calm hat. What was that, Amy? Oh dear. My lovely wife is going to go downstairs and give us a hat count, because I do have the majority of them actually collected now. We have them in the bedroom, arrayed along the walls, and that is kind of me making a note that this is in fact my room too. You know, Kay, I would like to learn come Monday. After all, it was Jimmy Buffett's hit. For those of us who aren't parrot heads, it's the one that they're most likely to play on the bridge. But of course, SiriusXM has its very own Margaritaville channel, so you can get all the Jimmy Buffett you can eat. Yes, it's a Buffett buffet. I don't care. There we go. So Hotel Room is the first song that came up in the random list. And the second song that came up in the random list is startlingly appropriate and related. So it was the beginning.
I think the one you're wearing 25.
I have 25 silly hats. Counting
About 3 that are in progress.
counting this one, and then we got 3 hats that are works in progress. The thing with feathers is my real serious silly hat for Run Fair. And then we've got a few other hats here and there. I've got a steampunk hat. I've got this hat for working county fairs. I got my big green top hat for Dickensian things and stuff like that. I had a lot of hats. And fezzes. Remember, I wore a fez before Matt Smith did. And I still wear one when he's not.
You put mouse ears on one of the fezes.
My old green fez, actually, I put mouse ears on it, so it's an official Mickey Mouse fez. Well, an unofficial Mickey Mouse fez. I'll have to bring that out at some point. But meanwhile, let's get back to the song, shall we? This one is another filk from based on David Bowie, and the chord, the hook for it came, and then I had to write the rest of it. That's the way a lot of these things do, is these little things. I have this weird little idea in my head, and it's therefore I must then pursue it in some kind of ridiculous way. My goodness, everybody came in. Chris and Walter and Gary and James and Paige. Hi! Oh my gosh, I got an audience. I'm not sure how I can deal with this. All right, so let's do the song here. This one is, it's not based off of Bowie's arrangement, this one is actually based off Bowie's song, but off Nirvana's acoustic arrangement of Bowie's song. And now you know what I'm talking about. Gotta calm down a little bit. This is a much more thoughtful song. See if I can do the licks. My hands are acting up a little bit. Every so often my hands decide that I must be a lizard. I met him at the fair. We spoke of where and when, although he was not there. I comped him as a friend, which came as some surprise. My act never caught his eye. I thought he'd driven home a long, long time ago. Oh no, not me. I never change my clothes. You're face to face with a man who lives at Faire. I laughed and shook his hand and drank from his own flask. Went back to my homeland. Then I knew what I should have asked. I gazed a gazely stare at all the folks at Faire. We should have driven home a long, long time ago. Oh no, not us. We never change our clothes. You're face to face with the folks who live at Faire. Oh no, not me. I never change my clothes. You're face to face with a man who lives at Faire. Okay, it's done. Whew! Hi. Yeah, I like that song a lot. That was the first folk song that I ever played at a Renaissance festival in Texas. Played it last year when we came visiting. And I was just hanging out outside the Privy Bank, outside, not by the elephant rides, those of you who know where that is. And Amy had gone into the Privy, and I was just kind of waiting around. It's like, well, what the hell? Played that song, and it amused 5 to 6 people and the fruit vendor. So I think that counts. That ought to count as something. Whew, here we are. This is 3 months into this whole working from home, staying from home stuff. And those of you not in Texas, things have gotten a little dicier over here for reasons which I will not go into because it involves ranting and yelling bad words. Suffice to say, we don't have this quarantine thing down real well. But, so, we may be doing this for a while. And I'm okay with that. I spend most of the time working here in this room in an undisclosed location in San Antonio, Texas. I do go into the office on occasion. And what I do is I try to do like maybe... did like 2 days this week, yesterday and Monday. And what I did was... what I do is I try to space it out because... I'm in one of those risk groups. I'm in a couple of them, as is my wife, Amy. And we just barely got the house sorted out so we could actually both work with distance between us so we don't drive each other insane. If one of us got the actual virus, then we would have to completely kit out this house so that one of us could live upstairs, one of us could live downstairs, and not see each other a lot for a couple of weeks, and that would pretty much suck for everyone involved. So there we go. Hey, Ron's here. Good to see you, Ron. All right. Let's see now. I got another song. Yes, of course, another song. I have more songs. I have many songs. This one was actually one of the first ones that I did during my initial performances at Steampunk November. And it started out with learning how to do a basic 12-bar blues in C, and then I wrote the words. And, well, this is what happens. Baby, but it's missing a few gears. I said I got me an ornithopter, mama, but it's missing a few gears. I'm gonna get that sucker flying, but it just might take a couple years. I got me an omnibus ship, baby, but the rigging's kinda torn. I got me an omnibus ship, mama, but the rigging's kinda torn. I've been looking for parts for it, but it was manufactured years before I was born. I got them low budget, underfunded steampunk blues. That's why I've been take over the world, mama, but I can't afford my own shoes. It's hard to take over the universe when you ain't really got nothing that you can use. Bridge. Rickety bridge. I got them low budget, underfunded steampunk blues. I'd be on taking over the world now, but I can't afford my minions' union dues. I can't even really afford to pay the last person to route the rest of the song. I will admit I called an audible on that song. The song is an entire mood, and now I work on a cosplayer version. Oh dear. Underfunded cosplayer. We could do something with that. There's a whole underfunded genre we could play around with. I called an audible on the last part of that song because the last part of that song has, for the most part, had I'd have an army of fanatical minions, but I can't. I have an army of giant mechanical crabs, but I can't afford the license fees of the external combustion orchestra. But I don't know if all of you know who the external combustion orchestra are. They're a lovely group of people, and they have a song called Giant Mechanical Crabs, which I would strongly recommend that you check out, because it's really great. One of the things about it is that there's an interval in the chorus, which is this side of completely bonkers. Reminds me very much of the We're So Happy, You're So Happy part of Act 2, Scene 1 of Into the Woods. And that's how much of a music nerd I am. Oh my goodness me, here we go. One more song already? Really? How long have I been doing this? Oh wow, that long? Have I just been going fast? Is that the point? I can never really tell if I'm going too fast or too slow. I've been trying very hard to play songs at a reasonable tempo because I know that adrenaline will just get you going, chuggity, and you wind up blazing through songs, and then your 20-minute set becomes a 10-minute set. Kevin Schnitzes like to observe the fact that, well, let's be honest about this. If a 10-minute Troubadork set would be like packed full of quality and over in a heartbeat. It'd be like watching The Matrix with all the slow motion parts taken out. I owe that joke to Lee Presson. I owe him $5. Those hot glue and duct tape underfunded cosplayer blues. Hot glue, duct tape, fun tack, zip ties, twist ties, paper bags, old floor mats, and last year's costume, all in one. And then he gets fed up, and you throw a carpet over yourself, and you go out and you say you're a horta. All right, now that's enough of that. That's one of the reasons why I do these rambling bits in the middle between songs. Why not? You'd be amazed how fast you can spend $50 on hot glue and duct tape. By the way, something that I should note, and I'm going to embarrass Ashley just a little bit, but she's my friend, she's my buddy, so I can do that. Ashley is somewhat famous in certain circles for having one of the first, and in my personal opinion, one of the best Sharknado costumes ever. I have seen her in it. I have given her bad ideas for it. She has retired it, I believe. All right. Moving on to the last song. Let's talk about this. Speaking of conventions, as I've said like 4,000 times in the course of the 56. This is a 56 Troubadork show. I got my second gig. Yes, Ashley, just a little bit of embarrassment, but not a lot. I'm not gonna like put a picture of you up over here, or am I? No, I'm not. The second gig that I actually did the Troubadork show at was at Texas Furry Fiesta in Dallas, Texas, at Reunion Tower. It's the second time I'd done that con. The first time I had done it, I did the magic show that I do, Tobias the Adequate, Dangerous and More Than a Little Stupid. And then I did Artisanal Gibberish, and I did the medicine show. And this year, I did the magic show, and then I did 2 Troubadork shows. And the Troubadork shows were great fun, but I did need to... I felt I needed to come up with more songs. And I actually have written more songs that would be appropriate for an anthropomorphic fandom show convention. And in fact, this one has been sitting around. I just barely got it done like 2, maybe 3 weeks ago. Yeah, I'm doing that one. I have so much fun with this song. I'm just about gotten to the point where I can play it competently. And the biggest challenge with it, playing it at all, is that I am trying to do a rhythm, which is not intuitive. There's this... You can't really talk normally with that. It finally happened to me. I found someone. No, I didn't think it could come true, but I found me a life companion. So hey, the same thing could happen to you. I mean, our life together is wonderful. I think it's gonna get serious soon. We really got a great thing going, but it gets real freaky when we hit a full moon. I'm Datin, a werewolf. Oh yes, it's true. I'm Datin, a werewolf. I feel a woo. It's like I'm awake in a beautiful daydream, yo. They really have improved my days. I don't know how they found me here. Guess we'll have to see how all this plays. I do all kinds of things that I adore. This relationship is gonna go far. I mean, I get all squishy when they stick their head out of the window when we're driving my car. I'm Datin, a werewolf. Oh yes, it's true. I'm Datin, a werewolf. I feel a woo. Now, I ain't saying that things are perfect here. No, the challenges will always be there. But we work our way through our problems now, and it usually kind of turns out fair. You know, I don't like faulting my partner now, so I learned me this one little trick. If things get angry and we get into a fight, all I gotta do to win is throw a stick. I'm Datin, a werewolf. Oh, yes, it's true. I'm Datin, a werewolf. I feel a woo, howl with me. Woo, woo, woo. So now you know the whole crazy story here, how my life flipped upside down, and while my mind not sound like my mind's too clear, you gotta know I ain't wearing a frown. I mean, it really hit the jackpot, y'all. That's the reason why I'm singing this song. And although we know it could take a lot of work, there ain't one single little thing that's gone wrong. Yeah. Hairball. I'm dating a werewolf. Oh yes, it's true. I'm dating a werewolf. I feel a woo. I always feel so refreshed at the end of that song. Yee! Oh my goodness me. Ah! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we have come sliding in sideways on yet another Tobias the Adequate Troubadork show, brought to you by self-quarantine, a pandemic, lots of free time, and a startling number of people who are willing to sit there and listen. Honestly, without y'all here, what I do makes no sense at all. So let's talk about a couple of things first and foremost. I want to thank y'all for hanging out with me once again. That cough came with a prize. Yes, Michael, that's very true. Not a prize you want to keep. Oh, one other thing real quick. Werewolves of London, which y'all are citing in the comments over here, that side over there, apparently that was literally riffed off the top of Warren Zevon's head. Him and his friend were just hanging out in the dressing room and just started kind of free associating. And what finally happened is another guy came in and said, "What the heck are you guys singing about?" It's, "Oh, the Werewolves of London. Oh, you mean like Awoo?" It's like, well, write that down. And that's kind of how these songs happen. Some songs are inflicted upon us. Sometimes we stumble on them. Sometimes we get lucky. But it's fun. So yeah, let's talk about the thing here. Of course, the tip jar. Slide over to the side here. The tip jar is, of course, paypal.com/theadequate. And Robert and Rick and Emily and Miranda have all been very generous and dropped a little money in there. Anything that comes, I'm not trying to be a professional streamer or entertainer in this area. We are definitely in the enthusiastic amateur portion of our program. But anything that goes into the tip jar goes back into the show. Technology for the show, the camera and stuff like that. We got the song software called Chord Extractor, which pulls chords out of songs. It's an actual song program. When I was using my phone as a camera, we used the app. It was actually paid for by my very generous folks who dropped in the tip jar here at paypal.com/adequate. And of course, Patreon. You too can support adequacy in our lifetime by going to patreon.com/theadequate, as have Alicia and Relly and BK and Kaylee and Richard and John and Brian and Lorene, or my party on Patreon patron people. The way it works is that you say, I will pledge $1 a month, and that money comes in every month, and then that money goes into a big bucket. In that big bucket, I reach into and I say, oh my god, I need a camera. So now it's why I have a good camera. Stuff like that. In exchange for which they get previews of songs. They get buttons, which I am working on. They get the Artisanal Gibberish ebook, and in some cases the Artisanal Gibberish hard copy book. And when I record stuff like my successful recording of Do You Know My Friend from Faire, that went up on Patreon for my patrons first, and then it's going to go out to the rest of the world. So that's how that works out. Patreon.com/theadequate. Tell your friends, tell your enemies. It will confuse them. The archives live over here at Facebook.com/TobiasTheAdequate and YouTube.com/MPLEGARE. Twitch.tv/TobiasTheAdequate does have some of my shows. I don't know how many they keep. I'm still new at this, but I am up on Twitch, and I have a whopping 4 followers. Holy crap! Most of them are outside of my time zone. Okay, they catch replays. And that's cool. And I kind of like it. Again, I'm not trying to be a professional streamer. This is literally me kind of like playing songs for friends. And basically, it's an open rehearsal with heckling. So, and it's the way I like it, honestly. Let's see here. Carpe Diem Comics is, of course, the official emotional support comic shop of Tobias the Adequate, the Troubadork Show, Artisanal Gibberish, the Adequate Podcast, which probably is on an almost indefinite hiatus because doing this is a little bit easier and a little bit more fun for me right now. Plus, you can always play these things back without actually watching them, and you still get most of the brunt of the show. You can find them in McKinney, Texas, physically located there in McKinney, Texas, or at carpediemonline.square.site. That's all one word. There's no spaces. That is their online comic shop address. Did Facebook just interview you for using the word? I have no idea. I think it's probably a technical hiccup more than anything else. Teppo. I did actually bobble a couple of words on Datin a Werewolf. And I'm a little embarrassed by that, but that's okay. It's a live theater. We work our way through it, and if you pretend like nothing's wrong, the audience will never notice a thing. Do support your local comic shops, your local gaming supply stores, your local craft stores, your local shops, because they are there for you. They don't have a big corporation behind them. And right now, things are still weird. It's 3 months into the weirdness, and we're just going to continue to deal with the weirdness as we go. So that's everything. Wow. This is 56 shows. How the heck did we even manage that? Stream interrupted right when I said, holy crap. Timing! I could take credit for it, but I'm just going to say that things like this just happen randomly in my life. My life has been a series of strange and bizarre coincidences. My birthday is a palindrome, numeric palindrome, depending on how you write it. I've moved 26 times before I got out of high school. I started out as a theater guy. Actually, I started out as a computer guy, and then started having problems and went on academic probation and became a theater guy. And then when I used to joke that if the computer thing fell through, I could have the theater thing to fall back on, and I was in the San Francisco Bay Area during the .com collapse, and so I had to fall back on that, and that's why I became a semi-professional magician, and now I'm back here in Texas, and I'm kind of gradually easing away from doing the magic stuff and doing more things like this. And Facebook freeze frames perfectly on you winking and holding the thumbs up. I'll take it. I'll take it. Coincidence is my middle name. I am very much a fan of the Taoist idea of when the river goes up, you go up. When the river goes down, you go down. Or the subgenius idea of surfing the luck plane. And if you know what that is, you're probably an even older geek than I am. Y'all have been spectacular once again. I have been Tobias the Adequate. Thank you for hanging out with me, and I'll see you guys next time. There is one more thing I want to leave you with, and I think it's a very appropriate, especially these days. And it's a quote from Davy Crockett, of all people. Davy Crockett was a very famous and well-known frontiersman, and someone once asked him if he'd ever been lost. And he said, I have never been lost, but once I was bewildered for 3 days. Yeah. All right. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And I'll see you next time.